Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's start this over. Welcome, everybody. You are listening to the Living to Be Monday Inspiration Call. Thank you for dialing in and happy Memorial Day. Our mission, which is really what we're excited about here with Living to Be, is to spread hope, helping others prosper eternally and inspire total fulfillment in the lives of others. As a company and as individuals, everything we do is to inspire others to live with integrity through finding their own sense of truth and purpose, knowing that every decision, intention, and action matters because of the people they affect. Now, today's training is on what defines us. So we are often questioned, but little do we truly answer this question about what defines us. Now, since this is an inspiration call, this is a question about you. Of course, we've talked about the thing that defines you, which is your beliefs, but I want to go a little deeper today. I invite you to realize that every job is a self-portrait of the person who did it. It's very much like what T. Harv Eker talks about, which is how you do anything is how you do everything. Realizing this will allow you to start to uncover the smallest pieces of what will take you to the next level. So how do you define yourself? Are you strong or weak? Dumb or intelligent? Good-looking or ugly? Hardworking or lazy? Crafty or honest? Serious or easygoing? Funny or lame? Successful or a failure? A salesperson or someone who creates value for others? Those are a lot of great little things that we go through each and every day of our lives where we are constantly asking ourselves, and I know that we all have moments where we feel either intelligent or dumb, or we're hardworking or we're going to be lazy today. And so when we came up with Living to Be, we defined who we wanted to attract. It was something that we put in our business plan. It was something that we put out there to people. And that one thing was to be a hope broker. People that are willing to share with others in order to broker hope, helping others prosper eternally. So have you truly added this to your definition of who you are? Are you helping others prosper eternally? Today is the day to define who you want to be. And it's and that's one of the things that I really want to kind of pass on here when we're talking about this, because we define ourselves by who we believe we are to be. And if you're not defining yourself as something, then you're likely not going to share it or exude it or vibrate at that level. So it's your opportunity, really, when you start to define yourself, to wipe your slate clean and begin again. In fact, you have every day to be able to do this. A lot of times people think, oh, well, my past defines me. And your past does not define you unless you allow it. See, you get to decide what you're going to be from this day forward. It's just something that we get to do every single day that we wake up. We can redefine ourselves. We can make today a better day than what we had yesterday. We can be a different person than who we were yesterday. And it doesn't have to hinder any type of the process that we're going through. You really do have the ability to become and do anything that you want in life, as long as you believe that you can do it. So no one tells you who you are or what you can accomplish. That's the truth of what we're talking about here. However, right, in order to become something different, you must define yourself. You must know who you are in order to fulfill the desires of someone like that. So if you're going to say that you're a generous person, then you have to do things that are of a generous behavior. If you're intelligent, then you have to do things with intelligence. If you're honest, then you have to live a life of honesty and be honest with where you are and what you're going through. When I think about a lot of the superhero things, when they defined Superman, they created a character, and through what he was and what he stood for. And through that emerged the symbol that people fell in love with. When they created Wonder Woman, they created a character, and because of how she was defined, emerged the idea that people fell in love with her. They've actually done studies about why people are so infatuated with superheroes and what they mean. And in layman's terms, I'm just going to sum it up for you. They allow us to define ourselves. Okay, it allows us to live in that fantasy for a moment, to find something that is within us that we want to hone in on. So when you see a superhero and you fall in love with that superhero or their powers or their gift or their intelligence or their good looks or whatever it is, we're looking for that within ourselves. And that's why they're so successful, because I don't know many superhero movies that I watch that I was watching, like Black Panther last night with my son. And, there's a lot of things in there that you go, man, I want to do those things. I want to be able to do the right thing. I want to be able to create something from nothing and be able to go out and transform people's lives. And that's kind of how we fall in love with those things. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is to recognize those things and find out if you want it to define you. Find out if you want to take some of those characteristics about what you're seeing and what you're liking and make them about you, because that's all you have to do. There's nothing more for you to do other than to just own it, accept it, and say, well, what can I do to be like that, right? Because in a world full of stress-induced growth, which is where a lot of us get our growth, we go through a stress in our lives, and then through that stress, we grow. I've been through it in my life financially, with spiritually, relationships, with whatever it is. I've gone through a stressful situation, and through that stressful situation, it's made me grow stronger, which is why we work out. We lift the weights that are heavy, that cause us to become exhausted, because of what it does. It causes us to grow stronger. And so, when you go through your life and you start to look at what can I do to define myself in a better way, you've got to put yourself out there to be able to accomplish those things. Like if you want to be smarter, if you want to be more savvy at what you do, then you need to study what it takes to be savvy at what you do. You've got to be willing to put yourself out there and say, I'm going to go learn something new in order to be able to create value for people. And you've got to redefine yourself through what you're learning and what you're accomplishing. So that's the cool part about what we are, right? So in a world full of stress-induced growth, we are often searching for the meaning of who we are day to day. And the truth of it is that it can change day to day. If you want to see if your definition of who you are sticks, right, then put yourself in a stressful situation and see what you get, right? This is a great reminder of that Chinese proverb that says people are like tea bags. Put them in hot water to see what you get out of them. Because if you're not pushing yourself, if you're not growing, if you're not challenged enough, then you're likely not really truly understanding what defines you. So if you want to put yourself in a position, and this is the beautiful part about it, is that when you do it and you create the challenge for yourself, like let's say building a business with Living to Be, then you know that you have to go out there and do things a certain way. It's your challenge. You're going to put yourself under some stress because you're going to go out there and you're going to start to share the opportunity and the products with people, and you're going to get rejected. You're going to experience resistance to what you have to offer people. And the truth of it is that how you define yourself is whether or not you're going to achieve the success that you're looking to achieve. If you're somebody who is weak, then you're probably not going to last very long. But if you're somebody who is strong and understands that people are not resisting you, but they're resisting the conversation that they're having to have with themselves about what they're going to do with their lives and what they're going to do to change their lives, then you become more open and passionate about, or compassionate about, what they're going through. And then you look for an opportunity to serve them. You look for an opportunity to help them grow through the process, just like you have grown. Because if you can remember, all of us at one time, we heard of network marketing and maybe we didn't like it so much. Maybe it wasn't who we thought of ourselves to be, and we didn't define ourselves as network marketers. But now most of us on the phone, most of us that are out there listening to this, or whether you're watching it on podcast, listening to it on podcast, or watching it on YouTube, you have to redefine who you are if you want something different in your life. If network marketing is something that you're really wanting to become a part of and create success with, then you have to define yourself as a network marketer. You've got to own it. You've got to understand that it's the best business for anybody out there to put a smaller amount of investment into something that could literally turn into, thousands of dollars a month or a week, depending on what your effort is. And so you've got to redefine who you are. When people ask you what you do, what do you say? Do you say, oh, I'm a nurse, or I'm a teacher, or I'm a doctor, or I'm a scientist, or I'm a machinist, I'm a this, I'm a that? Or do you say, you know what, I'm a network marketer, and this is what I've learned from it? And you share with them why the definition of network marketing or a network marketer is actually a powerful thing. And it's something that offers people hope, because you can't get ahead doing what you're doing right now, right? You can't get really far ahead and create the success and the time freedom and the ability to go out there and buy the things and travel the way you want to without really redefining who you are. So the only person stopping you is you, right? You can be whomever you define yourself to be. You just have to own it. You have to live it, you have to love it, and you have to be it. That's the power of what it means to define yourself. So ask yourself this question, because yesterday I spent a good portion of my day listening to music and kind of just sitting there with myself and saying, okay, who am I? What defines me? You know, what am I looking to accomplish in my life? What am I looking to serve? Am I looking to serve a greater good? Or am I looking just to get by in my life and say, okay, I've done this, I've done that. And then what do I really want to do? What defines me? And the truth of it is that what defines me is that network marketing. It's such a powerful model. It's such a powerful concept to be able to really understand and what it does for people to be able to help them create the lives that they want to be able to create. Now, it takes a lot of hard work. I'm not here to tell you that you're going to get rich, you know, by just getting into a network marketing program and sitting on your ass and not doing anything, right? That's not going to work. But what you're going to be able to do is really be able to determine what it is that you want, how you're going to get it, and what you're willing to put out there to be able to create what you want to create. That's what's going to define you. So you have two options in life. You can define yourself and you can work towards those definitions of who you want to be and who you are, and you can go out and create the life that you want to create. Or you can let life define you by throwing the challenges at you and throwing things at you in a way that causes you to have to react rather than be, proactive. So think about these questions and ask yourself, what are you going to do to define yourself today? So this is Calvenn Starre, and I'm living to be defined.